Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time. I am here in Indiana, and I am right up against the National Forest in the park here. So what you're hearing behind me is the 17-year emergence of the cicadas. They're very noisy little creatures, but honestly, I love it. I think it's fascinating. I do have a cat with me today. Yeah, this is Tonks. I'm staying in a beautiful little cabin right here on the edge of the forest across the street from the farm that I was teaching at all week. And as always, I learn something every time I'm teaching. I was very pleased they gave me a cat along with my cabin. Life is always better with a few animals, I think. Aw, how about... I think the cat is very happy that I'm doing tea time outside. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about adapting to normalcy before we try and cause change. Because the thing about the work I do is it's really designed to be in the horse's home. You get to know the horse in their home, and then you build from there. Good morning, Kim. I am adaptable, though. The way that I teach, we're almost never in the horse's home. The horse has to travel to the clinic location. The place where auditors can watch the work is sometimes different than their home. It actually usually is. There's a lot of things that the horse has to adapt to first. And when the horse adapts to the new space, they are going to have a different level of stress than they do at home. And so this kitty is very, very happy. Meow. So when a horse is at a clinic, they have a different level of stress than they have at home. You're going to sometimes see them run around the paddock. You're going to see sometimes more freeze than is normal for them at home. You're going to see sometimes that they're not willing to be in harmony with their human yet. There's a little bit more flight. And all of this is the new normal. And being able to accept that as the new normal. Because a lot of times my students will come to a clinic and they'll say, well, my horse is never like this. Well, they are now. And that's the thing is, in this situation, in this environment, this is the way the horse is today. And the first thing we do in freedom-based training is we adapt to that. What is normal today? And then from that normalcy of what is comfortable or uncomfortable or different, we show the horse that we understand it. And the more we understand it, the more they're going to trust us. Hi, Florentine. Welcome to tea time. I have Kitty with me today. I'm in Indiana. You can hear the cicadas making noise in the background. So, adjusting to the new normal, whatever that is. No, you can't have my tea. This is my tea, Tonks. So, I had a really fun experience this week where I got to work with a lot of horses, but one in particular was a gelding named River. And River's a quarter horse gelding, and I got to know him over 4 days through the clinic. I got to watch his behavior. I got to watch him with his owner. I got to watch him interact with the world, and I got to know him pretty well. Then from there, River was the horse that was offered to me to go for a ride out in the park today and explore all these beautiful woods behind me. And yes, we do have a chatting cat. Indeed. So, Kitty is helping me with tea time. So this horse River and I and a bunch of friends, we went out in the woods and enjoyed exploring the trails. Now, in this situation, it was helpful to know that River was originally Pirelli trained, and I am familiar with that system. So I knew what was normal for River when it came to being ridden. I didn't get on and try to do freedom-based riding. That would have been unfair to him. Instead, I took everything that I'd learned from 4 days of watching him, who his personality was, what kind of flow did he like, what kind of harmony worked for him, what length of flow did he like, when did he get impatient. All these things were pieces of information I was able to pick up over the 4 days that I spent watching him in sessions during the clinic. Then, from there, we were able to go out on the trail, and I was able to use my information that I knew he was Pirelli trained. So that's a basic system of training that has very specific ways you ask for things. I'm familiar with it, and I was able to show River that I understood what he understood. The two of us understood the same things, and that built the basic rapport between us. If you had given me months and months to spend with River, we could have gone out on the trail without tools, because we would have had so much time to build a new normal. And we would have been able to use that new normal to communicate out in the woods. But I've only been here 4 days. And so this idea of taking a relationship that's very, very new means it's sometimes good to do a little bit of research and understand what's normal for this horse. Start with normal. And then from what is normal in this environment, in this situation, in this day, take that idea of normal and then slowly and gently shape it into better, whatever that is for you, in a way that the horse is comfortable with. So if I just hop on a horse's back without enough preparation, and I expect them to be comfortable turning off of my fingertips, having no pressure on their face, and responding to my seat bones and my weight signals, that's too much. Okay, and we remember fight, flight, freeze. They happen when something is too much too soon. And so I have to remember that sometimes newness can be too much too soon. And if I can remember that and honor it, then I can start something like a trail ride on a horse that I know only a little bit. And I can honor what he knows, give him a sense of familiarity with him. And then as we ride, I can slowly and gently introduce things that he might enjoy that are new or different. So as the trail ride went on, I was able to drop my reins down on the front of my saddle more and more often. I was able to put my hands down at my sides or behind my back and ride in a sense of harmony that had less controls. It was pretty lovely. As we went on, River and I developed a little bit more back and forth communication, which meant sometimes he showed me little side trails that went off the main trail and then back on the main trail. And we had enough rapport at that point that I trusted he wasn't just going to take me off into the woods. He was just going to show me a part of the trail that he liked. And that was really fun for me. Now, I knew going out there that horses adapt and adjust at different rates. So it was highly possible that if I were to start dropping my reins, I would feel the anxiety go up. And if the anxiety went up and I could feel the tension in the muscles going more into a state of tolerance, that would tell me this particular horse wasn't ready for the newness of what I was offering. And that is something that I have to keep in mind. So we have to establish a baseline of what's normal and reasonably comfortable between horse and human in every situation. So in a clinic, we have fences that are big enough, strong enough, secure enough that if the horse gets really uncomfortable with the level of freedom I offer, they're still very safe. And we can work through whatever that is. In a situation like going out on the trails in the park, I might need to use a bridle a little bit more. I might need to use my tools in a way that the horse is familiar with to keep them comfortable. And I think that it's really important that I mention that, because anything that's too much too soon is going to cause stress in the horse. And they're going to show you more fight and flight than usual. And if we honor that, we respect that, and adapt to what's normal for them first, then from that basis, we can add in a safe way more and more freedom in a way that's not overwhelming for the horse. So I feel like it went really, really well today with me and River. I had 4 days to get to know him. We had a lovely trail ride on the 5th day. We were out with friends that he knew, and I was able to experiment with an unusual amount of freedom for him. There were times in the trail ride where I was able to just drop my fingers down to the side of his neck and just give a little slight suggestion left or right, and he would just yield really softly to my fingertips to turn left or right. I have no idea if anybody ever trained him to do that or not, but it doesn't matter. Because when a horse's stress is low enough, they have a natural instinct to play or to yield or to think. And in this particular situation, if I time it just right, the horse is going to naturally want to yield from a suggestion of pressure, or push into it and play with it a little bit, one or the other. My job is to read them, understand where they're at. Is the stress going up? Is the stress coming down? And then add my input into the relationship in an appropriate way. Do they need more play? Do they need more yield? What do they need from me that will make this experience really fun? Thank you, Florentine. I think River and I had a pretty good time. For those of you wondering who he looks like, I did my little announcement for this tea time with him. So he's a beautiful little Palomino. It's not that little. He's a Palomino quarter horse. And actually, he's got the beautiful stripe down his back and the stripe behind his leg. So I think he would be a Donalino, actually, or some sort of a dun because of the stripes. But he's very blonde, which made me feel a little bit like I was cheating on Atlas, because the same blonde mane in front of me. But I'm getting on a plane a little bit later, a couple hours from now, and I will be heading back home to check in with all my crew at home and catch up on all my work there. So thank you guys for joining me for tea time, and I hope you enjoyed a little cicada sound behind the background. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or anything particular you'd like me to talk about in future tea times. I always try and have a story that goes with it, but I gather your suggestions and I put them on a list so that I have my eyes open for a potential story that might illustrate your particular question in the future. So thank you guys for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. And I hope that helps to think about establishing a sense of normal with the horse before you try and change it. Show them you understand their perspective, you understand what's normal for them, you understand their point of view, and then gently shape it and change it, but not too fast. This is the slowest way of training on earth. That's the way I like it. Oh, Katerina, I'm glad. Little summery sounds for you down in New Zealand. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys next week.